Magic, overpowered protagonists equals explosive fantasy stories few people talk about. These 6 underrated series combine absurd power with emotional stakes, rebellion, or comedy. Prepare for a ride through hidden gems you need to see. Number 6. From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. Imagine a world where swords and nobility dominate, and someone from nowhere rises above them all. From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman tells the tale of a simple rural youth mocked by nobles and feared fighters alike for his humble roots. Yet he's consumed by a singular goal: to master the blade. Through grueling training, hard battles, and constant sacrifices, he slowly climbs from being just another bumpkin to a legend whose name echoes in sword academies and battlefields. What makes this story shine is that he doesn't gain power overnight. Every feat is earned. His development isn't just in technique, but in confidence, honor, and recognition. We watch disbelief turn into awe as those who scorned him tremble before his resolve. If you love zero-to-hero arcs that aren't sugar-coated, this one delivers on grit and reward. At number 5, Maju no O to Akago to Shikabane no Yusha. Brace yourself for dark fantasy brutality. Clevitess. Maju no O to Akago to Shikabane no Yusha follows Clevitess, a demon king figure known as the Beast King, who awakens in a cruel world where monsters and humans clash. When his domain is overrun, he rescues an infant, promising to protect life in the face of ruin. Meanwhile, heroes thought dead or undead emerge, and conflicts born long ago come roaring back. Clevitess's power is monstrous, his presence terrifying, yet he's drawn into responsibilities that test more than raw strength. This series hits a rare balance: savagery in its battles, horror in its destruction, tenderness in its guardianship of something fragile. The juxtaposition of a demon king holding a helpless child, of gods and undead heroes honoring old oaths, creates layers most fantasy glosses over. If you want your overpowered lead with emotional cost and a world that's as beautiful as it is bleak, this is one to watch. Number 4. Suyokute New Saga, New Saga Kute New Saga. What would you do if time gave you a second chance? Suyokute New Saga begins after the hero Kale defeats the Demon Lord, but loses everything: friends, allies, and even his life. Just before death claims him, he's sent back in time to his early adventuring years by a mysterious artifact. Now armed with painful memories and knowledge of future disaster, Kale sets out to reshape fate, shield those he cares about, and build strength that might prevent calamity. You see, victory over the Demon Lord wasn't enough, because loss still haunts him. His resolve is sharpened by regret, and his plan includes not just fighting, but repairing broken alliances, preventing betrayals, and renewing bonds. Power is part of his arsenal, but strategy, foresight, and emotional healing matter just as much. For fans of OP protagonists who don't just steamroll enemies, New Saga lets you feel every cost, every misstep, every hope. It's tragic, it's hopeful, and it's surprisingly human. At number 3. The Gorilla God's Go-To Girl, aka the Lady Blessed by the Gorilla God. Comedy, gods, and court intrigue merge in one unexpected tale. The Gorilla God's Go-To Girl follows an ordinary young woman who suddenly draws the attention of a divine gorilla god, chosen to be his beloved attendant or companion. With zero magic, no training, just her courage and wit, she's thrown into a world of divine politics, royal knights, and supernatural expectations. The gorilla god is divine, mysterious, and terrifying, but strangely flawed, often humorous, and capable of tenderness. What makes this story work is that its strength isn't in flashy magic. It's in her adaptability, in her laughter, in how she survives in a world stacked against her. She's not destined in the usual epic way. She becomes indispensable by being herself. If you want fantasy that doesn't rely on muscle, but on humor, heart, and character growth, this one is underrated gold. Sharp writing, beautiful world building, and an unconventional bond between mortal and divine make this one unforgettable. At number 2, Shi Moang, the Demon King who lost his job unemployed Demon King. Ready for a Demon King with bills to pay? Shi Moang turns the overpowered trope upside down. The Demon King, once terrifying and invincible, ends up unemployed. Stripped of usual respect and power, he must navigate a world that expects him to manage office work, social obligations, debts, and all manner of mundane disasters. Yes, he's still powerful, but now those powers are often used to mop floors, negotiate contracts, or fend off debt collectors. The charm lies in watching someone used to domination adapt to menial tasks with pride, dignity, humor, and occasional frustration. He might be mighty, but losing status forces him to be clever in new ways. It's comedy with a fantasy backbone and a protagonist who earns empathy while being absurdly overpowered. If you're tired of perfect heroes and want a series that laughs at itself while still delivering magic, dark fantasy, and power suppression, Shi Moang is your trapdoor into something fresh. Number 1. The Dungeon of Black Company. Make you Black Company. What if isekai didn't turn you into a noble hero, but a wage slave? The Dungeon of Black Company centers on Kinji Ninomiya, a lazy but sharp NEET, who's transported to a fantasy world. Instead of glory, he winds up working for a corrupt dungeon mining corporation. Faced with brutal labor, extortion, exploitation, and ridiculous bureaucracies, Kinji doesn't despair. He schemes. He uses his wit, greed, and audacity to turn every oppressive situation into an opportunity to climb up. This isn't a power fantasy where virtue is rewarded. It's clever, cynical, and wildly funny. Kinji's overpowered traits aren't just magical strength. They're his cunning, opportunism, and ability to manipulate the system. He messes up, he cheats, he complains, but often pulls ahead anyway. If you want your OP protagonist flawed, sarcastic, and more strategist than Messiah, this one delivers. Dark humor, satire, and biting commentary on workplace cruelty, class, and fantasy tropes all packed together. These 6 anime turn overpowered protagonists into something more than just strong. They add heart, cost, humor, or tragedy, and deserve far more love. Which one will you watch first? Comment below, share this list, and stay tuned for more hidden fantasy gems.